All right, back to getting you the latest from Brisbane, where Prime Minister Modi unveiled the statue of Mahatma Gandhi a short while ago at, in fact, the Roma Park Street over there. And now, we believe, he is headed on to the next function. Our managing editor, Rahul Kanwal, gets us the latest. Over to you, Rahul. All right, we'll try and establish that link with Rahul in just a few moments. That picture on your screens right now is of Prime Minister unveiling the statue of Mahatma Gandhi at the Roma Park Street a short while ago. And according to the latest tweet coming in from MEA Syed Akbaruddin, he said that the Prime Minister has already arrived at the Brisbane City Hall for his next program for the day. All right, Ambassador Dogra and Paranjoy Guha Thakurta still with me, joining me live right now. Paranjoy, we were talking about the significance of Narendra Modi, his visit to Australia, and the kind of message that is also coming back in India, because of course we have had prime ministers attending summits before, but this is a very hyped. And of course, we can also look at it in a way that India is making all the right noises at the international arena.
You're right, absolutely. I don't disagree whatsoever with you. What we won't know in a hurry is what goes on in the internal meetings. For instance, will Mr. Modi bring up the entire issue of how Indians in Australia have felt insecure in the recent past on account of racial attacks, including Indian students? Now that's a very, very touchy, sensitive issue. And what will happen is what happens behind closed doors, what the kind of discussion that takes place. And I'm sure even if he raises this point, the Australian leadership would try and assuage his feelings. But the question is, will he raise it? I think for the record, for the public, it would be all the good news about how we need greater economic cooperation and how we need to work together on issues like climate change, etc., etc., etc. So there are indeed a few sensitive issues, there are indeed a few touchy issues, and we won't know, I guess, quickly whether or not these come up in the bilateral talks.
Okay, point taken. Do stay with me. Let's also tell our viewers that, in fact, right from the start, the Prime Minister has been going hammer and tongs in Australia about the black money issue. This issue, in fact, was top on his agenda on day one of the summit as well. Meeting G20 leaders for the first time in the summit, Modi made it clear that repatriation of unaccounted Indian black money abroad is his government's priority. He underscored the security and economic challenges that the black money poses to the international community and sought close coordination among the nations to tackle the menace. I'm being told Managing Editor Rahul Kanwal is back online with us. Rahul, take us through what's happening over there. We just saw the Prime Minister unveiling that statue of Mahatma Gandhi. Moving on to the next program now, we believe.
The town hall, which is where the Prime Minister will be in just a moment from now. Let me show you the images from here. Select members of the Indian community here in Brisbane have been invited, as also people from the Queensland government. This is where the Prime Minister will be speaking to these people. He has interaction with business leaders scheduled as well. This is where the bilateral leg of the Prime Minister's visit really begins. And the focus now on India, focus so far has been on the G20, but that is now changing to focus squarely on India and Australia. I will talk about a couple of the key things that happened in the G20 declaration that has been put out. The Prime Minister spoke this morning about black money, about base erosion, about shifting profits, and that was included ultimately in the final declaration that was put out at the end of the G20. This is a very significant development because it wasn't really on the agenda for the G20 till the time the Prime Minister took it up. After that, the draft was shared with the various delegates, most notably Brazil and South Africa, supported India's position on black money, and that is when this clause on black money was incorporated. So let me try and put this into context for our viewers and try and explain what this essentially means. A working group will now be set up, and there is a threefold approach that they'll be working towards. The first and foremost is to try and achieve greater transparency in tax law. So there should be no sideshows, no special treatment for particular corporates, as much transparency about the tax.
Right. Rahul, thanks so much for updating us with the latest. Your audio isn't very clear. We'll try and reconnecting with you in just a few moments. But essentially, the Prime Minister is now moving on, moving on to the bilateral leg of his visit, where it's about Australia and India. So the NRI community looking to him to get some sort of relief, to get things going as far as they are concerned. And of course, the other issue that Rahul was mentioning was that communique, the G20 communique that now has the issue of black money listed on it formally, and steps will be taken from there on. A working group will be set up, and this issue in fact will be taken up. Prime Minister also got a nod from other BRICS nations such as Brazil and South Africa as far as his push for getting back the black money accounted, which is stashed away in foreign banks, back in countries is concerned.